was about 13, if memory serves, at the time, when my dad, who was a photographer for Ebony magazine, took me and my brother and sister, my mom with him, to the airport. Actually, the routine was that we would, when all available, drive him to the airport for one of his assignments. In this particular day, once we got to the airport, we could still pull up to the curb and park and not be shooed along. So it was my brother and sister and my mom, my dad and me. And he told my mother, he said, Neat, her name was Juanita, Neat, why don't you pull over and I'm going to take Greg with me into the airport. So I didn't know what was happening, because usually we would just drop him off, give him a hug, give him a kiss, and say, see you when we see you. And so I went in. We took a rather long walk, and eventually ended up in the airport in front of a couple of double doors. I remember, in the VIP, the initials were on the door. Went inside. I followed my dad inside, and there was a large room, just a beehive of activity, people milling around. And again, I had no idea where I was, or where he didn't tell me where we were going. He wanted it to be a surprise. He said, wait here by the door. I'm looking around. I'm old enough now to start realizing that I recognize some of these people. And some of these people were people from the world of civil rights, people like Bayard Rustin, John Lewis, Congressman Lewis, Andrew Young. I began to recognize actors and celebrities, athletes that I had seen on TV. And so where am I? Well, all of a sudden I understood where I was. The crowd parted, almost like the Red Sea. Coming through the crowd is my father, accompanied by Reverend King, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Now I am in shock because I know who this man is. He walks straight up to me and extends his hand, and I'm just probably like an automaton. I extended my hand back, and he shook hands, and he held on to my hand, and he looked at me, talked to me. He was only talking to me, in spite of all of these people who were around, these very important people. It was me and Dr. King. So the question you want to ask is what did he say to you? I have no idea. I have no recollection whatsoever of what the great man said to me. I just remember this, and that is that he looked me directly in the eye, and he was the only individual in that room that mattered. My father's partner, G. Marshall Wilson, took a black and white snapshot of that moment. Fortunately for me, it was some number of years later. I was actually the United States Attorney at the time in Delaware, when I got an envelope in the business mail from my dad, and I opened it up, and lo and behold, it was an 8x10 of that moment, along with a autographed program of the Nobel ceremony. You see, my dad had been assigned by Ebony to accompany Dr. King and cover the Nobel ceremony. And that's why we were at the airport that day, to drop him off on an assignment which he chose not to tell me about. And so this picture comes, and the Nobel program is in the envelope as well, and it's engraved to this effect, to Gregory, whose father I admire very much. The word very is underlined twice. And for whom I wish a great future.